Well, good evening and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Canadian Guys. And we have special guests tonight.
And one girl.
That is, Lucinda, you just keep us all straight, all right? Right? If we do anything wrong, you just hit the guy beside you, okay?
Okay. This one? Or that one?
Both.
Guys, good luck reaching that far.
All right, so we've got an exciting night tonight. We're going to be talking to Craig and Lucinda about their 5-4-3-2-1 Canadian tour. We're going to get to that just shortly. But to start off, I'd like to introduce the panel. And let's start with Rob down in the bottom corner, right? Rob, give us an introduction.
I'm not only in the bottom corner, I'm also in the furthest east. It wasn't me. I'm out in Halifax, Nova Scotia. My channels are Rob Truscott and Dead Knot, doing motivational, inspirational, and what have you with a motorcycle.
Good stuff. Kev?
Hey, Superman Kev, 2001. And I have been having no trouble at all with my computer today. And I've been having a little technical difficulty. But yeah, I have my channel. I've got a couple of videos to post, and unfortunately, I can't log into my YouTube account.
Oh, no. You know what? This will make an excellent new episode for you. The trouble with motovlogging.
I know. No
right?
kidding. Yeah. So hi everyone. If you don't know who I am, I'm Superman Kev 2001. You can check out my channel. I've got a whole bunch of videos with how-tos and a bunch of funny stuff and a lot of ice cream. So, and that's me.
Good stuff. And I'm Dave. I'm hosting tonight, and my channel is Harley Steiner's Rides, and I do everything around motorcycles. We also have a 38-foot toy hauler that we travel around North America, taking in all of the bike rallies and things like that. And we do a weekly vlog. So that's me. Now, the people I'm going to introduce next, right, Craig and Lucinda, it was just over a year ago that we found Craig's channel as a startup, and we invited him on to the Canadian Guys. And, you know, been so impressed with his channel and his development. We've been checking Craig out, and in a good way, right? Been checking him out in a good way, and watching his videos. And he has a fantastic backyard, being the province of British Columbia. But to start off, I'm going to ask Craig and Lucinda to introduce themselves. But what I'd also like them to do before we get into tonight's topic, it's been a year, guys. Tell us what's been happening with you guys.
Well, in the last year, there's been a lot of experimenting. And one thing I wanted to say is I wanted to thank you guys for what you did for me last year. And you gave me so many suggestions and some mentorship that really helped me start to get on the right track. Because, you know, you all spin wheels at the beginning, right?
Yeah, we don't.
So I really appreciate what you guys did last year. And then I started experimenting with a bunch of those ideas and different things to do. And we kind of figured out what works for us and started going that direction. And been really happy with the growth in the last year. And it's still fun. Basically, the bottom line, I'm having a ton of fun with this.
You have actually, I was looking at your numbers, and you are just below me. You are like right there.
I look at them every once in a while, but what I'm quite happy with is the views. The views have gone up quite a bit. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been really happy with the way it's going for last year, but this year coming up, we're going to have a lot of fun with it just off the plan that we have for this year.
Yeah. And I've noticed that Lucinda is starting to make more cameo appearances in your videos. How did that come up?
Well, at the beginning, it was something to keep him busy so he wasn't bugging me. No, I actually finished work last year too, Dave. So, and as we started working so I was around more. And then as we started working towards this trip coming up, we started integrating me a little bit more into it since I'm going to be along on the trip. Somebody's got to drive the chase vehicle.
Well, congratulations on your retirement. And,
yeah, thank you.
Congratulations on, what a way to start your retirement with a vacation that's coming up.
Yeah.
And Kev's right. You know what? It's not just the subscribers, but the views that are really thankful for all of our channels. Yeah, I know Kev's been in and around 950 subscribers, but you know what? He's got a very, very faithful following of viewers, right, for his videos.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Like you do. And I think you're about 850 now?
Yeah, I think I looked this morning. I'm just over 850, 855, somewhere around there now.
You're gonna pass me, buddy. You're gonna pass me. You're gaining, and I'm staying still.
Oh, there's some days I look at it and it dropped a whole bunch, so I can't predict how that stuff all works.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get the side chat going here and get them to rally and support both you and Kevin. Rob, you and I we're lurking in, we're the back and we're eating dust.
I've been doing this for 7 years. It's like my golf game. It hasn't improved in 25, so why would I expect something to go good in 7?
Yeah. And Craig, you're really lucky because when my wife, the lovely Miss Lorilei, comes on, what does she do? She just tells me to shut up and eat ice cream, which makes Kevin happy, but and the viewers laughing, but anyway. So tonight's discussion, and we're going to get into that right now, is that you two are retired and you've been planning a trip across Canada, and you've got it advertised as, and let's see if I can just
wow.
So, hold on just a second.
That's not quite the first one.
Hold on just a second. Technical difficulty.
There we go.
This is your logo for your upcoming tour, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't you start off? What is the 54321 tour that you're going to be doing?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we've done a lot of traveling, Dave, over the years, and lots of international traveling, and because we were in Alberta before, we did a lot of beach destinations during the winter. Mm-hmm. But since we've relocated out here, and with everything that was happening in the last couple of years, we decided it was time to do a trip we'd always planned, which was Canada. And then somebody bought a Pan America and wanted to take it on a really long, rough road. And so, and managed to convince his wife it was a good, So we came up with the idea that this year it was a good year to do our country. So we thought about it, and originally it was going to start in June, and it was going to be 5 months, the 4 directions of Canada, that is the 4 cardinal directions as far as we can go that way on a road. Mm-hmm. The 3 oceans, which is Pacific, Arctic, and Atlantic oceans, 2 people and 1 awesome country. So that's where the name came from.
I thought the 2 stood for 2 motorcycles.
Well, there are 2 motorcycles as well.
Yeah. Very good. So when did you start planning this tour?
So we actually were trying to decide last September what to do in 2022. And we were tossing around a whole bunch of ideas what to do. But the border kept on changing its rules so fast, we couldn't predict anything. And we thought it's the perfect year. Let's just do our own country. Like Lucinda said, we've been fortunate enough to do a lot of traveling. We've been to 22 countries on 5 continents. Wow. And we've only been to 3 provinces.
Yeah.
So it's time to see everything here, and we thought, what no better year to do that. So then by December, we made the final decision. That's what we're doing, and we thought it would be pretty easy to plan the thing. So let's just go. And we're sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where the plan? Which way do you go first?
So
Believe it or not, we're going west first.
You're already west.
yeah, so we're going to go into the ocean.
Okay.
Get the bikes a wash while you're there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go very far to go west. What is that like about?
So we're actually going to Vancouver Island first.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to start at mile 0 on the Trans-Canada Highway. There's a park where they have the sign there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to start going north.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to go up the north or the west coast of BC. And to get up the west coast of BC, we actually have to do the inside passage on a ferry from the north end of Port Hardy, north end of the Vancouver Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to stick to the west coast as much as we can, all the way up into the Yukon. And then eventually all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk, which is the farthest northern road on mainland Canada. And then that's where you can dip your foot in the Arctic Ocean.
Really?
Yeah. And you can actually park your bike right beside the ocean, but the town of Tuktoyaktuk doesn't allow you to put your wheel in the ocean. They won't allow that.
Okay.
But there's a sign there
It's
that you can park and
keeping
take a
it
picture.
pristine. Like
Yeah.
they take environmental sensitivities very serious up there.
Yes. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then we're going to head back down to Yellowknife. We're going to make our way over there. And then we're going to stick to the north as much as we can across central Canada. And we're trying to stay away from Highway 1 because we want to see the back roads. We want to see some things that we're not normally going to see. And
So when you get to the Arctic Ocean, you could swim in it.
Yes. Yep.
No
Depending on how cold it is.
They call that the polar bear swim, Kev.
My foot might do swimming.
Your foot might do some swimming.
So
We'll see what we can do.
Does that sound like a challenge, Kevin?
I think it's a challenge.
Gauntlet thrown.
yeah, get the video, the GoPro going there, and we can watch Craig dip his toe on whatever other parts of him he feels brave enough to dip
Underwater.
So just and this is just shows how much there is to know about Canada. What's the road conditions going to be like up there? When does the snow leave the north?
Well, riding season really starts in June up there. So it's starting pretty soon. Most of the snow is gone, but with the soil conditions up there, it's still very soft. But traditionally, riding season up there is June, July, and August. And then outside of that, you're taking your chances with weather. It can change so quick.
Mhm.
And that's part of the reason why we're targeting to be up there later in June, right?
Is that all gravel road all the way up?
It's a hybrid gravel because I used to work up around the Yukon Northwest Territories borders.
Yeah.
It's shale roads up there.
Okay.
So with the shale and then they add components to it, it becomes rock hard when it's dry. But when it rains, it's like monkey snot. Like it's terrible.
Monkey snot, very good choice of words.
Monkey-
I was thinking I had something else I was going to describe it as, but that's a good one.
Well, that's what we used to call it in the oil field, those shale roads. And actually, from Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk, it was always a winter road up until 2017. And then that's when they upgraded the road, put in the last of the bridges, and it's now a summer road as of 2017, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I've had the urge to ride all the way up there. So,
Right. So just out of curiosity,
Yep.
So from your place, when you start, how many days will it take you to get to your first destination?
So this whole trip, right from start to end, we're predicting to travel about 300 kilometers a day because we want to see an awful lot of things on the road. It's not just a driving trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're figuring it's going to take us 5 to 6 weeks to get up there.
Wow.
Now, from Vancouver, it's about 4,300 kilometers north. So
4,300.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's quite a distance to get up north.
Mhm.
I would
Well,
say
for
we-
people in Ontario, to put this in perspective, it takes just as long to drive BC north to south as it does Ontario west to east.
so. Craig, when
And
you
the other, oh, sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, when you go, will it be daylight all day?
Once we get up north, it will be 24 hours of sunlight once we get up there. Because the one thing we're targeting actually is
Yeah, we're planning to be up there for the summer solstice, which is June 21st to 23rd in there. And
Mhm.
it's the longest day of the year, right? So we might not see too much aurora borealis, but Craig might go swimming at 2 a.m. You never know.
And have everybody able to see him do it.
Yeah. Our other goal too on this trip is to do some learning and connection in some of the different Indigenous experiences that are offered throughout all the different provinces and territories, and to try and learn the more that we can. And June 21st is National Aboriginal Day, so it would be interesting to see if there's some way that we can
There will be a big celebration up there for that.
yeah. So
They
that's
have big events, yeah.
that's kind of the goal, is to be north into the Northwest Territories or somewhere thereabouts at that point.
so there definitely will be some videos showing what the sunlight is like
at 3 a.m.
2 or 3 in the morning.
Well, you're going to find it'll be daylight pretty much. Once you hit Whitehorse, you'll be in 24 hours daylight from there on up. Because, May long weekend in Yellowknife, you can read the paper all night.
Yeah.
It's bright enough for that. You get a bit of twilight, but it's, so yeah. And then, you guys will be more like solid sun up 24 hours a day, probably by Dawson City.
Yeah.
We might have to do a compilation video of like, what can you do in the middle of the night? Way up north.
Just to give you a heads up, because of the 24 hours daylight, my experience from working in the Arctic, the local communities, their circadian rhythm gets a little bit out of whack because there's no, don't go to sleep at night. They go to sleep when they're tired. So you might find that, by noon, people are not up yet because there's no go to bed at night because there's no night. So the circadian rhythm really changes up there.
Yeah.
That's good advice. That's good to keep in mind.
Rob, what was the farthest you worked up north when you were in the forces?
Alert.
Where's that?
At the very top, Ellesmere Island. At one point, I was the most northern person on land in the world. So I lived in Yellowknife. I worked in a bunch of communities further up in the archipelago. I was in a snowstorm in Resolute Bay, which is Cornwallis Island, which is above the top of your map in August. I've been in snowstorms in Iqaluit in August. I had to chop a hole to do my little dip in the Arctic Ocean in Resolute Bay in August because we wanted to do that too. We brought a bunch of people from south, so we had to cut a big chunk of ice out to be able for people to get wet.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. So I'm just looking at the side chat here, and they've got some great questions going on. Writing Hobart County, talking about the gas. We're going to be talking to Craig and Lucinda all about their expected expenses and their planning and preparation for this. So although we won't talk about it right now, we will be. And welcome Angel Face is here. Purple on 3. Jody is in here, right? Great to see. Critter Moto is in, right? So we got some great people in the side chat here watching. So we've kind of talked about the up here at Tuktoyaktuk.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Everyone calls it Tuck.
Okay, Tuck. Okay. So you're and then you're going to backtrack because I guess it's just one highway. I guess it's just one highway that takes you north. Oh, I keep clicking that wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's just one highway that takes you north and back. So how long is this highway here from where you split, and now you're traveling north to Tuck?
Actually, once you get north of Dawson Creek, there's actually different roads you can take. This map that I came up with is just kind of very generic because I could only put so many points into Google Maps, right?
Okay.
Don't say Google in front of Kevin.
Yeah. So will you be taking the same highway back, or are you going to be taking a different route back?
We'll be taking the same highway back for, I think when I figured it out, it's about 400 kilometers, and then we'll take different roads.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually talking about cutting over into Alaska possibly, depending on how our schedule goes, because it would be kind of neat to see the ocean from that point from Anchorage. So we're not sure.
Right.
Mostly we're doing this trip with no reservations. We're just seeing where the road takes us. We have targets, but we're going to let the road take us where it takes us, and whatever experience comes up, we're going to go for it. Right.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, when you're going up there, like, you have concerns about wildlife?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was doing my initial investigation, like part of pre-planning, you'd call it, before you decide it.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to do that as a bucket list for riding my bike all the way from Vancouver to Tuck, right? So when I first looked at it and started investigating, and there's an actual service up there you can talk to for tours. Once you get north of Inuvik, they tell you can ride your bike there, but they do not advise you to do it solo, and you're not allowed to camp because north of Inuvik is the highest population of bears per square mile in all of the world.
Yeah.
And
really?
And if you break down between Inuvik and Tuktoyaktuk and you're solo on a bike, you could be in a lot of trouble because the amount of traffic up there is not very much for someone to come and pick you up.
So, explain to me how you are going to do this. So you're going to be riding your bike, and
so my bucket list thing that I've always wanted to do is ride the bike all the way up there.
Okay.
So the older you get, the more cautious you get. So I admit it, I'm getting old.
No, not you. Craig.
So that's when we decided to do the chase vehicle.
Oh.
And then we started thinking about, so Lucinda will follow me in the car. And then we started thinking, well, we might as well tow the bike trailer, because if we have a flat or a breakdown, we can just throw it in the bike trailer and we'll go back somewhere.
And to haul the extra tires and gas and things like that. And
that's when everything started blowing up on trip planning.
So you ended up with 2 motorcycles then, did you?
Yes. And if we're taking the bike trailer, why not take the road glide as well?
How much can you fit in a bike trailer?
Well,
this is going to be one of the videos too.
It's not a bike trailer. It's the smallest toy hauler RV around.
I was going to say,
it's a bike trailer.
You can camp in that one because it's solid, right?
Yeah.
I actually spent the last 6 weeks converting it from a bike trailer to an RV.
Oh, did you?
I think, Dave, you were going to talk about that a bit later, right?
Yeah. Why don't we capture that when we start talking about, because we were going to talk about, and listen, there's no set agenda here. You tell me. We were going to talk about the route first, and then what goes into planning and preparing for this trip.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about what will be some of the milestones, motor vlogging on the road. I know a couple of people are asking if you're going to be in their neighborhood. and then we're going to do a Q&A for Craig and Lucinda before wrapping up tonight's show. So we got lots of time.
Yeah.
And so
to finish off Kevin's question just a little bit, like once we get up north, and then when we're heading across central Canada, I am going to ride the bike, but I am going to put it in the trailer also, so Lucinda doesn't have to drive the whole way, right? So we're going to share it across central Canada.
Yeah.
And then once we get out east, that's when the road glide comes out quite a bit, because we're going to centralize in places and then ride around within 2 hours from there. And the two of us on the road glide are very comfortable. Lucinda can ride the Pan America and I can ride the road glide. So we got lots of options, right?
Right.
And if it snows in August, we got the SUV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because you have said in previous conversations that you plan on branching off from your main route if something comes up that tweaks your interest.
Yeah.
Right. We're going for the oddball attractions, the quirky stuff and the giant chickens, or I don't know, whatever you might find.
So good point, because in Ontario we have the goose.
Yeah.
And Wawa. I don't know what you would get, out in the prairies or Northwest.
Oh, there's tons of stuff in the prairies.
There's the Gopher Museum, and there's the giant Easter egg.
There's the Enterprise in Vulcan, Alberta, and
there's a big sausage ring in outside Edmonton on the highway. There's the largest duck is out west east of Edmonton. I made a poker run of hitting a bunch of those largest things, like the egg and stuff like that.
Yeah. We found that on past trips when we did that, we just looked for kind of the oddball stuff and the interesting kinds of performances and different things we could go see, and it was so much more fun than just the standard things that they say you have to hit, right? Of course, we're going to do some pretty cool things like that too, and see family along the way, but we like the quirky.
Yeah.
Cool. So after Yellowstone, you're heading to where?
So we're going to make our way across northern Canada, like probably to Thompson, because one of the things we want to see from Thompson is they got that train, I think it's called the Polar Express, to take you up to Churchill.
Okay.
And it's not quite in season, but I was told in early August you can still see polar bears up there, but there's no road to get there. So that's where we park for a little while, and we'll see if we can get to Churchill, and hopefully we can get on one of those big trucks and go see a polar bear, right?
Okay.
So,
How long?
And then of course, sorry?
I was going to say, how long's the train ride from Thompson to Churchill?
If I remember right, it's like a half a day, I think it is.
Okay.
My
To
parents
get up there, and then you stay overnight, and then you come back the next afternoon.
Okay. Kev?
I was going to say my parents did that years ago, and they really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Going on that train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got to come down to Winnipeg, because you have to take Trans-Canada all the way to, I think it's Dryden, I think it is, or before you can start going north on some back roads again. And, again, nothing's solid. We're just going to try to figure out what we want to do from there. And on the second map, we have a general guideline of where we're going east.
Okay, where's the second one? There we go.
There. So we kind of want to dip into Northern Ontario and then get down to Toronto area, because of course it's a milestone. I want to meet you guys, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of our targets, was I want to get there and see you guys in person, right?
Right.
That'd be great.
Kevin says he knows good places for ice cream, so I'm all up for that.
That's what Ontario is known for, our ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your map here, Craig, and it shows that you're not taking Highway 17.
Well, we haven't fully decided on that. Like, I've seen so many good things about that highway.
Yeah, Highway
But
17.
I've also seen that you take the northern route up to Goose Bay, and there's some pretty amazing things to see also. So it's not firm. This is just a kind of our idea right now.
Yeah.
And we may change it, we may not. I don't know.
It depends on the weather a little bit too.
The only thing I will say about the Highway 17 trek is that it is really epic for motorcycles.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, because it's got they in 2017 they repaved the whole highway, so it's nice.
Okay.
It's nice and smooth. There's a lot of really good ups and downs and really nice curves.
Mhm.
It's an empty highway depending on when you go. I mean,
Yeah.
I rode that road and I rode all day. I hardly saw anybody, but it was cool. A lot of lakes,
Oh.
really, really intense. But I'm sure that big round where you want to go, I've
Yeah.
never been there, and I'm sure it's probably epic too. So
Yeah, because that would be above Highway 11, wouldn't it?
it would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's not written in stone, but it's just our guideline, because what we want to do is once we get to the edge of Labrador, we
Mhm.
want to jump over that little ferry to get to Newfoundland.
Right.
And there's a short ferry that runs seasonal, but we will be able to get that at the beginning of September. And then we can do Newfoundland in a loop,
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
because where it crosses into Newfoundland is very close to where that Viking settlement is, that old Viking settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can go all the way to the easternmost point in Canada and come back on the south of Newfoundland. Then we get down to Cape Breton.
Right. So
And then I heard Rob's going to take us on some little micro brewery tour.
yeah. So just a quick question. So after you come down into Toronto, how are you coming along? Are you coming along the St. Lawrence, or are you going to be jumping up into like Highway 7, Highway 2? What do you fall?
That's a good question. I'm going to leave it to my planner here.
We'll see
okay.
when we get there.
Okay.
I don't know. We haven't detail planned that. We're just going to play it by ear when we get there.
Right. Okay. And this part here. Now, again, you chose you chose this northern route here, where I think a lot of people just continue along the Gaspé to that point.
But again, we want to see something different.
Oh, and
Right.
you will.
And
Yeah. Well, and we were talking we went to the Vancouver Travel Show, and we talked to lots of different people from Haida Gwaii and from Yukon and all different parts of Canada. And there was a fellow there from Newfoundland and Labrador. And it was actually part of his recommendation to take that other loop so that you can can do, you can go all the way and see lots of different things, because we'll be going in earlier on
Right.
to do that northern route.
Yeah. I'm really interested in seeing how you make out in Labrador and then jumping across into Newfoundland over to St. John's.
And there's also when you get to Goose Bay, and that's actually where my dad used to work years and years ago in the late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And but now from Goose Bay, there's actually a Viking settlement north of there in Labrador that you can actually take a tour to go see that one also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Craig, are you going to?
Interesting.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's super interesting to me, because that's part of my background on my mom's side. So just want to go see it and hopefully not go a little berserker on Craig.
Now, where's your family from, Lucinda?
My mom's family is from Iceland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So once we get to the Atlantic provinces, we're kind of planning on staying there for about 7 weeks or so.
Oh,
And
really?
then we want to see all 4 of them. I want to get to France. I want to be able to drive to France. That's a goal. So that's one of the bucket list things to do also.
Yeah. Now, where's France?
It's on the south coast of Newfoundland. There's a territory owned by France.
Saint Pierre and Miquelon.
It's an island, isn't it?
An island.
Yep.
And you can now drive on a ferry and drive on the island of France.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I heard that there's not very far to drive once you get there.
That's right.
No.
But it's a good story.
Don't take a run at it, because you'll go too far.
Well, that's just it. You're able to say you went on a bike trip in Canada and rode through France.
I rode all the way to France.
It's three countries. It's three
Yeah.
countries. Canada, US, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to back up because Boots and Jean joined us, and they say they didn't see the first map here,
Okay.
right? And Boots and Jeans are
They do
one
a
of our,
lot of riding.
oh yeah, they love riding. So Craig, just quickly, just give them a quick little summary of where you're headed, and then we'll flip back to the other map.
So when I met Rich and Kate last year, that was at the Peace Arch border, right close to where we live, where the beginning of the blue line is on the southwest corner.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right.
So Rich, we're going to be going about 4,300 kilometers north to get to Tuktoyaktuk. And that's where the Arctic Ocean is. And then we're going to take northern Canada all the way through the central Canada, take the northmost route that we can until we get to the Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Rich,
there's
you might-
eastern Canada.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say, Rich, you might find it a little bit too cold for you and Kate up there, being from California.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when we do the 7 weeks in the Atlantic provinces, we're going to end up in New Brunswick. And from that point, we're thinking it'd be roughly last week, October, first week of November. And from there, we have no plan. We don't know how we're going to get back yet. We're going to play it by ear.
Mhm.
So we may be going into the States and coming
Yeah.
across the central states. We may beeline it in Canada. Who knows?
Way too cold.
And yes, Rich, I drive with heated gear all the time. It's always on the bike.
So, Craig, I was going to ask you. I think I already know the answer, but you're going to do your videos like you always do, where you incorporate a lot of the history and such as you go, because
Yes.
those are awesome videos, by the way.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love the way you do that.
So to touch into the category that Dave had for motovlogging,
Yeah.
we're still going to do a video a week. And what we're going to do is like a weekly roll up of what we did that week.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of shorter clips on it of all the adventures we get into. And if we get into an amazing one, we may just do a separate video for that and put it midweek. We might. But the idea is we want to showcase a lot of the things we find. And I love finding the history behind and stories of places.
yeah.
Mhm.
So there'll be a lot of stories and things we found for history. There'll always be, the riding and the videos of some of the roads that we get on. So we're going to do a real mix.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the things that, like, when I went up to go see my son in Thunder Bay, and one of the things up there that was really cool to do, because you're going to be pretty much at Thunder Bay, are you not?
Yes. Yeah.
Just outside of Thunder Bay, there's all those amethyst mines,
Mhm.
Ooh.
Oh,
and that's really cool because you can go, and they give you a bucket, and it's just and you can fill the bucket, and they charge you, I think it's either $20 or $40 to fill the bucket with amethyst. And
oh, wow.
yeah, and
That would
it's
be cool.
it's kind of a cool thing to do. I actually rode my bike up this really dinky little road, and they had signs. You're almost there. A few more miles, and you're going to be there. You're not lost.
Yeah.
You're still going the right way. And when I got in there, there was a log cabin that had this beautiful showroom with all this jewelry and stuff made with this stuff. And I bought a few things for my wife and brought them home. And she actually, one of her favorite things from my trips is
That's awesome.
yeah. So
Well, that's great.
like if you're up that way,
Oh, yeah.
it's worth, like, it took it, like, it was a minor stop. Like I didn't go do the mining. It was raining the day I was there. I mean, you could have, but like it might have taken a half an hour out of my stop, and it was one of the highlights.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the whole thing, is that, if people have ideas like that, that's the great
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about being connected with other people,
Mhm.
is just send us your ideas. You never know if we're going to end up there or not, because
Yeah.
You
we
guys
might
need a
head
web
that
page for
direction.
people to submit their ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. So
Yeah.
because we love doing stuff, just different stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's a cool one. Like that's just sort of a cool thing to do. But yeah, it really, really sounds exciting. Wow. And you leave, how soon do you leave?
Next week.
Monday.
Next Monday.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Our house sitters have already moved in, so we're definitely leaving next Monday.
You want to leave.
Yeah, well, they want us to leave. It's our son and his girlfriend. So they're like, sure.
Yeah. So next week we hit the road. Yeah.
Wow.
And then our goal is we have to be back here by mid-December. So
Wow. What a
Yeah.
trip.
yeah. So we're really looking forward to it. We've been planning this thing for so long.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's we're going to talk more about the route, but let's go into what goes into planning and preparing for this trip.
So when we made the final decision, the first thing we had to do is we had to investigate the general route and find out all the challenges we're going to get into. And of course, one of the big challenges is the road, right? And we already decided that we're going to take the vehicle like I talked about before because of the wildlife risks. So once we started doing that, we had to start modifying everything. With the Pan America, of course, I had to do a whole bunch of upgrades. But with the Touareg, that's a Volkswagen Touareg we have, the diesel, we had to get a lot of work done to that just to make sure it was safe. We got the brakes all redone on it because there's some extreme hills. But we had to find all-terrain tires for it. They don't make all-terrain tires for a Volkswagen.
Oh, really?
So it took me about 4 weeks to find an alternate tire at a different dimension that will work without hitting the wheel wells.
Wow.
Because when you get to those shale roads, you have to have a self-cleaning all-terrain tire. Because if you hit rain and if you can't have a self-cleaning tire, it'll turn into a slick.
Right.
Wait, what?
And then, of course, the thing is that we discovered it's not if you get a flat tire, it's when you get a flat tire. So all of a sudden we had to buy a full-size rim for a spare. We had to buy extra tires and extra tires for the Pan America and extra tires for the trailer. And what do you do with all those extra tires when you got a 14-foot trailer? So we had to build a roof rack on top of the trailer to carry the tires.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, we decided with the change in price of gas, which escalated our budget quite a bit.
Not a great time to go on a road trip. I'll just say that.
Now, see, there's an example of the tires we put on it.
Wow.
And then, so when we converted the trailer into an RV, so we can actually save some money by boondocking in it. Well, there's the Pan America because I stripped it right down to do some modifications to that for the air cleaner, the way that the air goes in there, because I discovered water comes into the air box, so I had to fix that up. And then, of course, with all the bags and extra lights that I put on the front. And then the last thing I did last week was put the tires on it. They're Michelin Anarchy tires, and that's the only ones I could get for it.
Right. And then,
So here's our RV. It's our toy hauler RV.
It's not a toy hauler.
and I know this because
It's not a toy hauler.
Lori and I, we started off the exact same way with the exact same trailer.
Yeah. So I spent the last 6 weeks and I modified the front of it here. Well, we got the hangers, the closet there, but that white box to the left, that's our shower and our toilet.
Oh, you actually put a shower in there.
Well, what we did is we have a the box on the right is a on-demand hot water heater system, so it's an outdoor shower.
Yeah.
And then that's our gray water tank, and then we have the toilet beside it. So we made a bathroom closet. So that's for emergencies.
Oh my God.
In the middle of the night when the bear is banging on the door.
Oh my God.
That's right. You don't have to go where the bear is.
Yeah, I won't ask you how you fit in there. But anyway.
This, I have to tell you, this is the part I'm most nervous about.
Well, you know what? Craig can pick it up. He can take it out and put it behind a bush for you.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then I wired the trailer so it's 12-volt power throughout the trailer with the battery system. There's our fuse panel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a monitor on there of what our power level is. And then we can charge all of our electronics that way off 12-volt. But I do have it on 120-volt for shore power also.
Mhm.
And then when we plug it into 120-volt, it recharges the 12-volt.
Right. Now, are you taking a generator with you also?
Yeah, we got that Honda 2,000-watt generator.
Okay.
So we can always plug it into our shore power and it recharges our 12-volt also.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually put a homemade Murphy bed in there. And it's an actual queen-size mattress, our mattress from home. So it folds up on the side like that.
Yeah.
And then those black storage tubs that we have, we put them on the ground when we take the bike out. And there's our queen-size bed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty
Awesome.
ingenious.
So there's our toy hauler.
Mm-hmm.
And
Whatever.
actually, after this picture is when I installed, we put a max fan in the top for air ventilation.
Those things are awesome.
Yeah, and then we put windows on both sides right there. So I cut windows into the trailer, so we got some ventilation also.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So I just finished that renovation last week,
Wow. So
it's ready to go.
this thing would be great if you ever decide to do go to Sturgis or something again.
Yeah,
We've actually,
Yeah, we've used it that way quite a bit before, Kevin. That's when we first noticed that we'd just pull the bikes out and just sleep in it on a blow-up mattress. But so the Murphy bed is even better.
if you notice there, I got an awning on the side of the trailer.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
So in 2015, we put an awning on it when we were camping at Sturgis to get some relief from the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So that awning's been on there since 2015. This trailer is actually from 2010 is when we bought it.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, very good. Yeah.
so that's our accommodations.
Wow.
Some of the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Once
say
in
you
a while, a person needs a real shower. I just want to go on record saying that.
well just for like I know my wife and I when we have a small little Trillium trailer like a bowler, a little tiny
Yeah.
trailer. And we'll go on holiday, and after about 5 days we go to a hotel
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you need to shower
yeah,
and you need to have a really good night's sleep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it'll be a combination of all of the above, but it's great to have the camping possibility. And when we go north, that'll be great to have that for sure. So
Absolutely.
Like in Prince Rupert, we actually found a place where we can rent a yurt to sleep in there.
Right.
So we're going to be doing all kinds of
all kinds of
accommodations.
things, yeah.
This is just what helps us on the budget.
So do you have a little space heater that you plug in to keep you warm at night, or
Yeah,
just-
we're bringing a space heater, but we're not doing air conditioning.
Probably won't be needed for quite a bit of it.
No, I know.
Probably not.
I know. Well, that's a great setup, and you've still got room for parking both bikes in the trailer if you want.
Yes, both bikes will fit in it because the Pan America is quite a bit narrower.
Yeah.
And we used to trailer the Road Glide in it and Lucinda's Street Bob. We used to trailer the two of them in it.
Mhm.
But the Pan America, when I take the side bags off, it's a lot thinner. So it's easy to do with the bed still in it.
Right.
And you don't even feel it in the Touareg. It just, that thing pulls like you wouldn't believe. It's
Is
awesome.
that right?
That's probably the best towing vehicle we've ever had.
It's
Really?
wonderful.
I wouldn't have thought.
What's
Yeah, I was
The
surprised too.
Touareg is rated to tow 8,700 pounds. That's the factory rating. And that TDI motor has 400 foot-pounds of torque in it. So it's got tons of power to tow. The braking is proper for trailering. So we've had that vehicle since 2015, and it's been so good to us.
Do you have brakes on your trailer as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, BC, anything over 2,000 pounds requires brakes.
that's right.
That's most provinces are about somewhere in that 2,000 pound range.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Craig, I'm just looking at your picture here of the Pan American, and you brought up a good point when I said about hard bags versus the soft bags?
So back in the 80s, I used to travel an awful lot on the bike by myself, and I always had soft bags. I've always been a firm believer of soft bags for traveling. But over the years, I've been watching a lot of overlanders travel, especially with the dual sport bikes. And I do like the semi-rigid bags, but I really hesitate against the hard bags because I've seen time and time again when you have a spill or a dump not the right way on a bike with the hard bags, all of a sudden you can't close the lids. And all of a sudden there's your hard bag and you can't seal it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen an awful lot of overlanders, they tip over their bikes with the soft bags, and sometimes they get their leg or foot stuck underneath it, but the soft bag gives. The hard bag doesn't.
Sorry, I just saw that in the side chat. I know we've kind of gone past it, but you could.
So when I bought the Pan America, I bought the soft bags sight unseen because I ordered it all at once, and they work really well. But to tell you the truth, I'm kind of disappointed in them because they look like garbage cans, right? And they're really stiff. Now, they still give a lot if you're going to dump the bike, and unfortunately, if your leg goes under it, it'll still give. But I'm not as happy with them, and I'm not sure I would do it again. But we'll see at the end of this trip. We'll see how well it worked, right?
Well, and you don't necessarily have to put those in. You could put all that in the trailer.
Yeah.
I could. But, if we still get separated, there's certain things I want to keep on the bike. Of course, your rain
there'll
gear.
be a minimum loadout for what the bike has at all times.
Yeah. The one bag I might not carry that often is the trunk bag there because it's really awkward, and the way it straps on is quite awkward. And this is just me being honest, is Harley did not think that one very well for that trunk bag on the soft one. It's not very good. So.
Right. Now, have you, so I guess one question that came up earlier on, gas prices. Have you kind of forecast what you're going to be looking at in or budgeting for gas?
A lot. How's that?
I think it's one of those questions where if you have to concern yourself with the gas price, you probably shouldn't be planning this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we came to that point. We know that we're paying twice for fuel, like diesel in the SUV towing and the bikes, and we have to carry jerry cans for both of them because of when you get up north, gas stations are far between.
Mm-hmm.
But what we estimate is our gas price will go up about 25% from what we originally budgeted, and that works out to be about 8 to 10% increase on our overall budget.
Wow.
So yeah, it's going to be a hit a bit, but it's not going to stop us from doing the trip, and we'll find other ways to conserve. And by bringing the trailer, we have our barbecue, we have a stove. We'll be doing a lot of camping and some boondocking at Walmart.
Well, we can stay at his place and his place and his.
Right.
I'm just.
So
what are some of the things that you have budgeted for on this trip? Because you're going to be on the road for 5 months now, so
yeah,
you've probably worked out some categories of or areas where you do want to spend money or are going to need to spend money. So, what are your budgets and what are the kind of the categories that you created for those?
So we built a vehicle budget. So the vehicle budget is for fuel, of course, and maintenance and repairs, because you prepare for the worst, but you plan for the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't use that part of the budget, great. But we had to put a budget aside for that. And then there's a budget for accommodations. And of course, there's a budget for food, which is everything from eating out to pubs to cooking on our own. And then an entertainment budget. So we've got them basically in 4 categories.
Okay.
And then within those categories, we built line items for each one of them about what we might be running into. And then there's a 10% contingency on top of that.
Yeah.
Now, that's a best guess.
Mhm.
How many
When you're
coffees
doing
you can buy
5
through
months
Tim
and
Hortons
3
for free
seasons in
Wi-Fi?
Canada, that's just a guess,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Rob, what did you say?
Well, I was just saying, like, how many coffees you going to buy at Tim Hortons just to use the free Wi-Fi?
A lot.
Yeah. Well, and we tend to, we're bringing all the stuff so that we can cook a lot of our meals. We've always been much more that way. We'd rather spend our money on things that we can see just wherever, rather than spending on going out, rather than going out for dinner all the time or going to lots of hotels. That's where we save our money in some places so that we can see the things that we can't see anywhere else and do the things that we can't do anywhere else. And we were just talking about whether the ferry is really expensive for that inside passage in BC. And just today we were talking about, we could go out to Kamloops and come around and do the interior instead. And it would be a lot cheaper than taking that ferry, but we'll probably never go that direction again by a ferry. So let's just go for it. We'll spend the money and we'll shave it off somewhere else, right?
Right.
Because that's an experience that I think we both think is really worth having. So that's how we do that.
Exactly. You're making this a bucket list trip. Don't not put things in the bucket to shave.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like I can go to a restaurant anywhere, but I can't always see certain things in these places, right?
You can't go, you're going to go to that dive bar in Yellowknife that's
Yeah.
got uneven floors and dollar bills stapled to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the toe in the drink?
No, the sour toe cocktail is in Dawson City.
Yeah. No,
that's a challenge I'm going to do.
That'll be your
absolutely. You have to.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to kiss the cod when you get to Newfoundland.
I can kiss a cod, but I ain't drinking no toe.
You know what they say when you go to kiss the cod? No tongue.
I thought Dave was going to keep it clean and do something like, "Long way, big jib draw."
We'll remember that, Dave.
Yeah, well, actually, when we were in Newfoundland, 2 years ago, we did a pub crawl, and that they had a group of us all standing up, and the guy said it every single time, especially to the girls, right?
Well, we were unofficially screeched in about 20 years ago by our Newfie friend here in BC. And but we'll have to do the actual ceremony while we're there.
Yeah, with your foot in a bucket and
This is one great way to get content, I'm telling you.
Well, it's definitely not for making money.
Yeah.
But
although
we're out to experience it. We're looking for experiences.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about it, Kevin, sorry to interrupt. The interesting thing about it, Kevin, is this is how we would do a trip anyways.
Yeah. So
we're not doing, and I've always said to Craig, this is to enhance our life, not to change it and not to direct it, this vlog. So this is the trip we would do anyways. And we're just going to turn a camera on once in a while. So the videos might be not quite as, he might not spend that many hours every night on editing. But the
well,
content
there is no TV.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it sounds so epic, and it sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see so many cool things along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even if you just have your phone and snap a picture and put it up to your Facebook page.
So when do you think you'll be in Southern Ontario?
So the way our general schedule has us, it's probably the last week of August.
Okay.
Mid to last week.
So last week, August, first week of September, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like sitting here in the first week of May.
Yeah.
The plan will be officially off the rails Tuesday.
That's right.
And that's a good point, Rob, right?
And you know what? I remember watching years ago, I watched a guy who did a great big epic long trip. And that's exactly what happened. He planned everything out to the T's and everything. And he got about 6 blocks from home and something happened to his bike.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that was the worst of the whole
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It all went up from there.
Yeah, it was all good after that.
Yeah.
The other thing that guy did is he had these really nice riding pants, and he put them. He wanted to have them close by because he didn't think the weather was looking shifty, you know. And so he put them under a bungee and rode, and of course, somewhere.
Oh no.
These expensive pants are somebody else is going to find them and go, wow, nice pants.
Great find.
Just wear the pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roadkill. Yeah.
I had a friend lose a jacket that way. Forgot to bungee it, and next time he stopped, he noticed it wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're trying to guess about how many problems we can run into, but the problems we run into, we won't guess.
No.
So,
Mhm.
Well,
But if you had a website, you could start running a betting pool to help make some money.
how many items will you lose between here and there?
Yeah.
We could take bids. We could take bids for weird things that people want us to do, and then just.
Oh no, it's just more people betting on the over/under of what's going to go wrong next.
Yeah.
yeah.
I predict a flat tire on Thursday.
You should keep track of all the animals you see,
And that's what Bonnie had a great idea for. Bonnie was suggesting I should do a wildlife bingo card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're going to
I
see
never know
bison.
what's going to end up in camera, and I am going to remember to keep the lens cap off.
Like who does that ever happen to?
I don't know, Dave.
Have you ever heard of Bug Splat Bingo?
Oh.
No.
Well, the group that I ride with, they on a Sunday afternoon, sometimes what they'll do, everybody gets a bingo card and you put it anywhere you want on your bike. Where you put it doesn't matter. And then it gets splattered with bugs. And they have to be direct splats. You can't be on the line, and then at the end they pull cards, they pull the
That's
bingos.
hilarious.
And they play bingo.
It's kind of like chicken shit bingo or cow shit bingo.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Well, up north it'll be blackout bingo.
Blackout bingo.
Well, up north you'll probably be going for a full card.
Yeah.
But that actually is your full thing. Bugs and full face helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to have one?
I am. Somebody is. I guess
I want to see pictures
I
after
don't
he
know.
gets hit in the face a couple times because those bugs are big.
Well,
And there's lots of them.
but the worst thing that ever happened to me on that, we were on the bike together in North Carolina. I just finished doing the Tail of the Dragon, and we were going south on a road called the Wolf. And Lucinda's sitting on the back of the road glide, and I'm coming along, and a bird hits me right in the side of the face and rang my bell.
Yeah.
And Lucinda actually had to help me to pull the bike over because it rang my bell.
Yeah.
That would.
And it was just like the movie Wild Hogs. The bird came right in
Hit
my
that
face.
comment one up.
Yeah, I just wanted to get Harley throttle juice.
Yeah. No.
That's nice.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that, Rich, on the border there. We talked about that quote. Yeah.
I think it's
We're out for the experiences.
Yeah.
We're going to live life.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. I'm so jealous. It sounds like it'll be such a fun trip.
So here's a question for Lucinda. Will you take a little garden gnome or something like that with you? Right? And can you take a life-size cutout poster board of me? Well, there you go. You can have Angel Face and a garden gnome all at the same time.
We probably will have some little mascot. When we did our big trip through the States for 10 months prior to COVID, we had a little flamingo, a little pink flamingo that sat in the front of the motorhome, and his name was Floyd. aka Pink Floyd. And so he rode with us the whole way, and he was our mascot, as well as we bought.
I think we'll wait and show that one on the
Okay.
first video.
I took Plastic
We
Jesus.
almost had a spoiler. Spoiler
I-
alert.
Almost.
I always take Plastic Jesus when I go on a trip, and and Plastic Jesus, I always like the last time when I went with my son and we were in the States, I had Plastic Jesus bungee to the back of my bike, and I'm going along, and this car pulled up beside me. These guys have probably heard this story, but this guy pulled up beside me, and they're waving and everything. And oh, gee, I wonder what's going on. And so then they get past me, and their whole back of their car was plastered with Jesus saves and fish, all of this stuff, and like Jesus this and Jesus that, and they just thought I was part of the crowd, and I take
Making friends, Kevin. Look at
I
you
know.
go.
I take
Everywhere you
Plastic Jesus. It's the whole, I don't care if it rains or freezes, as long as I got my Plastic Jesus, to keep me safe when I travel far.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I do think, since I'm going to be driving the Touareg a lot, maybe I will start a little bobblehead collection on the dash. So I've got someone to talk to.
Of all the places you've been, you could have the whole dash covered by the time you get home.
Maybe I'll even find a bobblehead Jesus for you, Kevin.
yeah, hey, it was fun though. It's fun, and we've taken him like every time we've gone south and stuff. We always take Plastic Jesus. I made a video. I've made 2 videos with Plastic Jesus.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out.
I'm just starting to wonder why we don't have some motovlogger bobbleheads. Like, why?
There we go.
Right.
I think you need one with Kev eating ice cream or something.
We gotta figure out how to 3D print those and start making them.
That's it. When we finish, I'm gonna search Amazon and see if they've got a
Oh, that's great.
bobblehead.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, that's great.
Oh,
Okay.
so
it is fun to do stuff like that though along the way.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
my goodness.
Just in this, did you consider, because Hobart County, he mentioned it a little bit earlier on, and I didn't catch it at first. Did you ever think of doing a GoFundMe page?
To tell you the
Thought about
truth,
it. No,
no.
we're very, very lucky to be able to.
I don't really want to distract our trip trying to do something financial.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought about certain things, but the goal of the trip is not for something financial.
It's not
The goal is
fundraising,
for
it's
the
not
experiences.
awareness. Yeah.
We also thought about trying to support a charity along the road and raise funds for it.
Okay.
But we also thought that might just distract from the trip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
one
whether
thing
and whether we'd be able to do it justice in
Yeah.
the way that we would want to do it. So what we've decided to do instead is when we hope to maybe target some of the charity rides that are going to be around. Like there's one
in Whitehorse,
in Whitehorse, I think it's June 11th and 12th,
Ride for
the
Dad.
Ride for Dad. So we'll probably do
Okay.
that one because Craig's done that one. We've both done that one quite a bit before. And so we'll target some charity rides that way and connect with communities of local bikers that way too.
Mm-hmm.
The one question I meant to ask you before is: are you going to have communication from truck to bike?
No.
No.
I would drive her nuts with me rambling on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Kevin, if he sees this, then he knows. Like this, then he knows.
I know to pull over. Over the years, we've worked out signals of when it's time to pull over and stuff like that. But no, we're not doing the communication thing.
Here's a
We're planning to stay married after 5 months.
Here's a really quick side story. The first year we went to Sturgis, and I didn't know anything about motorcycles or anything about anything. And I'm driving the truck, and Craig's in front of me on a bike, and about 50 Hells Angels went past. And he said he could see the whites of my eyes in his rearview mirror. So I was like, where are you taking me?
And then I knew it was time to pull over.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was in 2008.
Yeah.
Wow. So have you figured out how many kilometers this trip will be?
So when I did some, Google Map measuring and some guesstimations and some contingencies, we're thinking it's between 35 and 40,000 kilometers, but it may be a little bit more than that.
Well, because you got to get home too.
Yeah.
Because when we did the trip in 2019, this was before YouTube, when we did the United States for 10 months.
Yeah.
And I did a calculation for the mileage there, and I thought we were going to do 18,000 miles, and I think we did 26,000 miles, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And we did that one with the motorhome.
That's part
and
of traveling like
yeah.
this a little
Yeah.
bit, finding the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you got to roughly figure out some oil changes and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that maintenance budget you talk about. Like that's why you think of these things.
You look
Yeah.
at the map and it's a straight line, and when you drive it, it's like this.
Yeah.
So
And actually, that's a good point, Rob. I actually talked to the Harley dealership because both of my bikes are under warranty. So I talked to them about what are we going to do when we're so far away and so many kilometers. So what they told me is I can do the oil changes myself, and I keep the receipts and take a photograph of the mileage, and they'll accept that as record to keep the warranties good.
oh wow,
That's good.
very good.
So
there's
it's
the odd
really
Harley
good that
deal-
they
with
work with.
planning. You could probably hit a Harley dealer and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
same
And the
with
one
Volkswagen.
surprise to me when I was asking those questions is I actually have to take the Pan America oil with me because it's a different type of oil.
Really?
Because it's all three oils in one. It's only one oil to change.
Yeah.
And it's a 1550. I think it's a 4T oil because it has to have a hydraulic component to it
Yeah.
because of the clutch packs.
Oh.
So I'm actually carrying 6 liters of oil with me to do a change and in case I need it, and the filter because I might not find that 1550 oil in certain parts of the country.
No.
Yeah, and then once you do an oil change, next time you're going through a town with a Harley dealer, resupply.
That's right.
How many liters does the Pan America take on an
4
oil change?
liters.
4?
4 liters, but one drain plug does all 3 oils.
Wow.
So it's actually very easy. It's a lot easier to change that than the Road Glide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Road Glide, I'm not carrying oils with me because we're going to be out east, and I can get that pretty much anywhere, right?
And you're not going to be using the Road Glide for most of the first part of the trip. So
That's right.
Not until you come back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we get closer to the east side where there's a lot of pavement, then
Yeah.
that'll come out more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
You're not afraid to take it on gravel, though, anyway, a little bit, eh?
You've seen those videos.
I
yeah,
have.
I know.
I have.
I went to one place on the island when I went up to where the gnarliest tree is on a logging road.
Yeah.
And it was about 50 some odd kilometers down this road. And I finally pull up to the entrance where this hike is. And a couple guys come up to me and, you rode that here? And it was a nasty road.
Now, are you going to be taking many drone shots? Because I know you have a drone, and it's a good one because it can follow you as you're
Yeah.
riding. So
We're actually planning to do that with the vehicle also. So because we're only targeting on average 300 kilometers a day, we have time to take some real great shots. Like when we're going up north, the scenery is unbelievable in some places, especially when you get up around Mount Logan. So we're going to throw that drone up behind the vehicle and have it follow the vehicle so we can get the
panoramic.
view behind it. So
wow.
we are planning to use that a lot more than I've used it in the past.
And when you get up towards north of like Dawson City and towards Nuvik and Tuck, there's no trees, so nothing for it to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, he has had that problem before, Rob.
But what you might see is all the bears and stuff that are just out of sight.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's a good point, Dave. Yeah, and I bought extra batteries for it because, charging, that's why we wired the trailers so we can charge so many things at once. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. What an
Yeah.
epic trip, Craig. I'm looking forward to meeting you when you get down this way. I have to make sure we keep in contact.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of our milestones is we want to meet all you guys when we get out there.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I'll just, before I move on, Rob, Kev, anything else you want to ask about preparing and planning for this trip?
No, I'm a planning nerd, so this is all right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you're going to be doing laundry along the way and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be.
Oh, who needs that?
Yeah.
But I was just thinking when you do your real far north stuff, there's a long time you're not going to be able to, right?
Yeah.
This is what Craig does is he takes all his old shirts so that he can wear them right out and then buy another t-shirt.
Throw it away.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're going to stop at the odd Walmart, right?
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's
throw
right.
into the $5 bin and away you go.
Yeah.
You can always buy a shirt, and that's why I don't take very many that I don't want to lose. I take the ones that I'm willing to throw away.
Yeah.
I watch.
Yeah, because we're really cramped for space, right?
Yeah.
We both have one suitcase in the back part of the Touareg, and that's all we bring, and that includes all the shoes and toiletries.
So the very back of the Touareg fits one suitcase each, and we have a 12-volt cooler that fits back there.
That's our
So
fridge.
do you want to eat or do you want to have extra clothes?
That's right. And in the back of the Touareg is going to be the cleanest on the whole trip, like because of the dust and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the clothes and the food stay back there. Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. What are some of your trip's milestones, right? So you've probably thought about this when planning of things that you just have to see in your route. So what are some of your milestones?
So one of the first ones, of course, is the inside passage to go up through all of the islands, like all the way from Port Hardy to Prince Rupert. And then once they're Haida Gwaii.
Yeah, we really are looking forward to Haida Gwaii because
So you're going over from Prince Rupert over to Queen Charlotte? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that because there's so many beautiful things there. So
And then,
neat experiences.
Yeah. And then past that, there's the sourdough cocktail. And then everything up north, like we already talked
We're
about.
looking
right?
about, for the June 21st, but like we said, the
Yeah.
charity ride, that'll fit in there. We've got visits with my mom in Alberta going to and coming back, and some family that will be seen in Ontario in August as well. And so there's a few little things, like a little date markers that we do need to kind of hit.
Mm-hmm.
But and weather is the other factor, so that could change, right? So we evolve as we go.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like your end of trip like you do on your videos.
Yeah.
This cost me so much money for gas, so much money for entertainment. By the time you get to the last one, that's the video I want to watch.
Well, just think of like some of the benchmarks. I'm curious, like what's going to be the highest price per liter you're going to hit for fuel?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know what that might look like. And
Yeah.
It's just probably going to be a 3.
Yeah.
And you start looking at some of those, maybe milestones might be the right word, but it's going to be records.
Yeah.
What's the most you did for this? What's the most you did for that?
Well, and I think that's part of, that was part of the whole concept of the trip too, was what's the furthest west we can get on a road? What's the furthest north we can get on a road? And you've seen on the across the map, the furthest south we can get on a road in Ontario there, right?
Yeah.
And what's the furthest east we? So there are those extremes that we're certainly going to be checking off the list too, Rob, like you said, and the other little things along the way too. What's the biggest Easter egg?
And I've also investigated what's the highest point in Canada and what's the lowest point in Canada,
Right.
and some different things like that. We're trying to get a little inventive about what can we find out here, right?
So you're going to hit mile 0 on both ends.
Yes, because both ends have signs for mile 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, both ends
that's
claim
cool.
the start point. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Beacon Hill Park in Victoria. I've been to that
That's right.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the Terry Fox statue is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Well,
one
I
in
think,
Thunder, a good Terry Fox monument in Thunder Bay too. Don't miss
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, there's an awesome one there. Yeah.
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 So are you
Well,
planning
and
on-
that's and sorry, just to answer the last of that, the other milestones we're kind of looking for are also just like social milestones of we want to just maybe we're going to hit a kitchen party, in
Yeah.
Nova Scotia, maybe, and just things like that, like the people we're going to meet and the charity rides we might do. And so it's experiences are the milestones as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
The ice cream stores you find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
is Rob going to take you around the Cabot Trail?
Sure.
When we met Rob, we had the good fortune of meeting him after Christmas time
Yeah.
in Kamloops. So he said he's got ideas for us when we get there. And it's had something to do with microbreweries.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too. Oh my God.
One thing, Craig, how are you guys going to let everyone know where you are? Are you doing a web page or doing it all on your YouTube channel?
Well, I'm going to be updating Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And like those ones are easier to do real time.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is not real time
No, it's not.
Yeah.
because like again, we don't have TV with us, but it's easier to do some editing at night.
Mhm.
But some nights I just want to sit around the campfire. I don't want to edit,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So realistically, it's going to be a week or two behind, but we're going to try and keep that real time, like within a week or two as possible, because if it gets way too outdated, it's not really relevant anymore. So we're going to try that, but real time is going to be Instagram and Facebook. Those ones I keep
Yeah.
up on quite a bit.
I'll have
So-
to make sure that I follow you along so I know where you are.
Yeah. So here's
Are you taking a device, emergency device, satellite?
What you can,
We've looked into that for that Garmin InReach.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got one yet. We haven't fully decided on that yet
Okay.
because we are going to be keeping up with our son to keep tabs with where we are all the time. We know once you get up north, that becomes a lot harder.
Well, I know with some of those devices, because I've seen a couple of vloggers who do the really far north
Yeah.
ones, and what they've done is they have a family member or somebody who can live track it.
Yes.
The way those things work, so they always know where you are.
spot beacons are the same
Yeah.
thing.
They know
Satellite
where
trackers,
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister did that too when they were on their sailboat. They
Mhm.
had a spot beacon like that.
Yeah, because it'll drop a breadcrumb every 10 minutes if you want. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can track that on a website. That's what Mike Terry on Dispatch's Adventure Ride, he'll have on his website is his spot beacon. Will
Mhm.
drop a breadcrumb.
right.
Mhm.
So on that, have you investigated where there is self-service versus is not, or there is no self-service?
I haven't really done that. I know there's maps you can do with TELUS to show you areas that are in range. But
Mhm.
when I used to work up north and I used to try to work with those TELUS maps, they weren't accurate either. So all we're planning on is once we get close to major centers, we know we're going to get cell service or Wi-Fi again somewhere.
Mhm.
But in between major centers, we're just predicting it's not going to happen, especially up north. So
Yeah, you're fine actually for most of the southern areas. When you start getting up towards Yellowknife, yeah, north of high level, because you're coming across through the Thompson there, or not Thompson.
Yeah.
You're coming across the top, not going down into BC, Alberta, then back up. You're going to find there's hundreds of kilometers with no cell service. So it's just people need to know you're coming kind of thing.
Well, there you go. See, someone's got one that
Yeah.
you can use.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
I have one
I
too.
see-
It just needs a subscription to activate it. But 'cause
So I
let
see
it
the
go.
comment there from Critter Moto. So I'm actually hoping to meet with him later next week because we're going to be going right through Nanaimo.
Okay.
There you go.
I've been following him since last year, and he has some awesome off-road
I'll have to
videos.
check them out.
He has got the world's best playground for that.
Oh.
I'm so jealous. I used to 4x4 all through there.
Yeah.
I would kill for that playground.
And last year he had a series of videos that was around the Coquihalla Lakes area and all that, like the Kettle Valley.
Nice.
And I'm sure he's probably one of the last guys that went on some of those trails before all the floods happened, because they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
And there's some awesome videos. So, and we're hoping to touch base and hopefully get to meet the first week that we're on the trip here.
Yeah. No, I have a spot beacon and I've loaned it out before too. And so, so if Critter Moto can't get you one, I can ship you one to Prince Rupert. Yeah.
There you go. Cool.
Oh, that's excellent.
So on the road moto vlogging, right? So, you're going to get all of these people that are watching you go through, and they're going to be wondering, where are you? So we can come and meet you for coffee. Certainly the Canadian guys, Rob, he's already organizing you guys for down in Nova Scotia, but for us, having you in the yeah, I need to get a refill.
I brought my refill with me.
You planned well, Rob. You planned well.
I was a good Boy Scout, well prepared.
Yes. Well, that's
So
your military background too, right?
Yeah. So I've had some people reach out already, and we're staying in touch.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way to reach out is just using our channel's email address.
Right.
And that's within our YouTube channel. It's on the About page. And we're keeping in touch with some people, and we're going to let them know when we're in the region of where they are. And we'll give them a few days heads up, because this type of trip where we're going without reservations and a solid plan, it's plus or minus 3-4 days in any direction.
Right.
But within a couple of days, we'll be able to say when we're close to Battleford, Saskatchewan, right?
Yeah.
So
is there anybody
we're open to meet up with anybody? Like, I love that. Like Rich and Kate, when we met them down on the border, and Eddie in Kelowna, and
Rob.
Kamloops. Anyhow, I like that kind of stuff. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, I look forward to meeting you, Craig. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure would.
I know Angel at the beginning was wondering if you were going to be coming through Calgary, but I don't think you are you?
No, we're not going that far south. And part of the reason is I used to work in Calgary for many years.
Oh.
And it's a good place to be from for me.
It's not.
Well, for me.
My family's in Red Deer, so it's pretty close to Calgary. So if somebody from Calgary wants to come find us, they might have to shoot up the highway a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll be sticking a little further. That'll be about as far south
as we get.
Yeah.
But we are going to do a pit, Peter. I heard Peter ran into some liquid sunshine here last week.
Anyways.
Anyhow, we're totally open to it. Just contact us on our channel's email address.
Yeah, I think to respond to the U motorcycle comment is 10 days off while riding. Yeah, you just don't want to meet people. But when you're gone for 5-6 months, you're going to run into people.
Yeah. And you motorcycle is Adrian. He's actually out of Toronto, right? So he does.
And certainly we're not going to meet everybody, and we're not going to meet people every day. But we're going to connect up with people as we can, for sure.
Yeah. And you're going to meet a lot of great people on the road anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to say your best meeting. You have no idea who that's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the reason that we really like camping as well.
Yeah.
Because that was when we were in the States on our last big trip. We were in a motorhome, and you meet really great people in campgrounds too.
Yeah. So. Like I started traveling on a motorbike in '83, and every trip that I take and camp, every night you meet somebody. Somebody's always walking around, and everybody has a story about a motorcycle at some point. And I meet so many people on the road, and that's one of the great things about traveling is the people you meet.
You know what? When Lori and I did the Lorelei's mystery ride, we were up on Lake Huron, and we stopped just to take a picture. And this couple was walking by, and they said, "Can we take your picture?" And we said, "Sure." And then we got talking to them, and they lived on the other side of the street, about 20 houses down.
Yeah.
They knew all of the neighbors, but we had just never met them. And
Isn't that something, hey?
it's amazing how small the world is.
Yeah. In 2009, we did a trip to the Amazon River, and we were in Manaus at an eco lodge,
Mm-hmm.
and there was 6 other couples with us, and we still keep in touch with 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, good stuff.
I remember one time I was in Florida and I had a Kitchener Rangers t-shirt on.
Yeah.
And some guy tapped me on the shoulder, goes, Kitchener Rangers. And I said, Kitchener Rangers? He goes, yep, grew up in Guelph.
I was in Australia and ran into a guy who used to work in my hometown at the MLA's office.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. I met up
It's
with
a
a
small
coworker.
world.
I met up with a coworker in the Jamaica airport. So
Yeah.
Our son is in Australia right now. And the last time he was in Australia, he was in Alice Springs, which is dead center Australia. And he went to this one pub one time, and the person that was serving him ended up being the daughter of our friends when we lived in Red Deer.
it was
Right.
And they met all the way out there.
Yeah. And Harley Throttle Juice, he met your son in Australia too, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they've met Cooper in person. They actually helped him out. He had to have something mailed to a home address. So off it went to their place, and
It was excellent. Yeah.
Roger came and met him. So
Yeah.
that was so sweet. We thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know what? You're gonna be in good shape having, 2 motorcycles, because you're gonna have one that works.
Oh, yeah.
Insert early joke here.
And when your butt gets sore on one seat, you swap it out for another.
Yeah. And with the flexibility, like if we run into extreme weather, then we got the SUV, right?
Yeah.
It's not a hardcore motorcycle challenge for me to be a solo rider. I want to do that from Vancouver to Tuck.
Yeah.
But then after that, we're going to do, it's all about the travel, not necessarily to hardcore the bike, right?
Well, I would put the bike in the trailer for the ferry because it'll probably save you a fortune.
Yes.
We're definitely doing that.
The
We might put me in the trailer too.
on the Inside Passage ferry run, the motorcycle is $200 on its own.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's $200 for the person riding the motorcycle.
How much is it for a trailer?
By
Well,
the
we
foot.
figure with putting both bikes inside the trailer, it's going to be $1,300 for us to do one-way trip on that ferry.
Yeah.
13. Now, why 1,300?
That's the price of the ferry.
Yeah.
With the vehicle, anything over 20 feet, they charge you per foot.
Okay.
So with the vehicle and the trailer, and then it's $200 a person.
Yeah.
And it's a 15-hour
It's a
ferry ride.
15-hour ferry ride.
Yeah.
But that's the one we were talking about just today, and that's something we'll never do again.
Yeah.
And it's could end up being a really amazing highlight, right?
Wow.
Well,
Very
I
good.
think that by the time you're done, you'll have a thing saying, gone 7 ferries,
Yeah.
14 toll roads.
We did
Well,
we
we
did
would
that on
have
our last we did that on our last trip coming back from the States. We had a list of, because I did a blog for that one, and we had a list of this, and
How many stadiums I got to?
it kind of blows your mind as well, right?
Well, how many
I didn't
hours
keep
spent
track
on
of how
ferry?
many beers though, but
But like how many
Maybe
hours
that's
waiting
what
for a
people-
ferry? Like on the
Yeah.
Dempster Highway, there's a couple ferry crossings because there's no bridges like at Sigachik and places like that where you're going to wait for a ferry. It's a 20-minute ferry, but you're going to have to wait for it. You're probably going to have to wait 20 minutes for it. Then just add up all those ferry times. Coming off Newfoundland, 8-hour ferry, you're probably going to have to be there 2 hours early.
Yeah. What's the time commitment for ferries?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And Marine Atlantic isn't cheap either. So I'm
Are
sure
you
you're
going-
on that one.
Yeah. Take
Are you
the
going to try and do Prince Edward Island in your trip?
yeah.
Okay.
We're time permitting, we may even do that island just north of Prince Edward Island that's part of Quebec. But you have to go to Prince Edward Island to get to that island.
Oh,
We
really?
may do that one also, but it's time permitting. We'll have to see.
Right.
Yeah,
But I
it's
do
an
want to
easy
see
one.
Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's cool.
So
All
Craig,
that red soil.
yeah, just so I don't forget, afterwards, I know your website or your YouTube has your email and your web or your store, right, for merch, but it doesn't have your Facebook, Instagram, and that. So send me your link, and I'll send me your links, and I'll add them to the description below, so that people, if they're looking at this video, can, if they don't already know who you are, can connect with you Facebook and Instagram.
Oh no, that's good.
That'd be great.
And that's good to know. I'll have to remember to update all that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, why don't we open it up and see, as we're talking here, and Rob, maybe, or Kev, maybe you can help me out here. If somebody in the side chat, and I know we've got some great people there. Peter's there, so we should ask this. How often do you plan on washing your bikes while you're on this 5-month trip?
Well,
Ride in the rain washes the bikes.
the road, or the Pan America, I've had it since September. I think I've washed it twice. But I don't mind not washing that bike, but I do keep up on the chain maintenance on that.
Yeah.
So I do keep up on that part. But
Right.
the Road Glide I wash much more often.
Every time he takes a shower outside with that little unit,
Oh, yeah.
he'll just park the bike beside him.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're going to hit a bunch of rain this year, so that might be the washing.
If we're
It's
lucky,
been a very
otherwise-
wet year so far.
Otherwise, fires are going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
possibly, yeah.
Because that could really just, like, fires in northern prairies just go nuts, and that could really change your plans as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. So, Kev, Rob, any questions that we haven't covered that you thought you might like answered?
Man, oh
I'm
man,
good.
we could do another hour.
I've harassed them a few times before, so I know most of the answers to my questions.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be dropping these stickers all over the place. So we're going to be leaving them around on road signs all the way as we go.
Cool.
And we actually got a 24-inch sticker made for the back of the trailer because we're not going to be traveling as fast as some other cars. So you're going to see that on the back of the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And you're going to put these stickers at destinations around the country, are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drop them all over the place whenever we travel anywhere. So I had a whole bunch of them made up. We'll be dropping them all over the route.
On every one of your garage doors.
Well, hopefully you're not like Jarvis Biker and just show up at my door, with a blacked out helmet, right?
And a sticker.
Well, you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not those kind of guests. Don't worry.
Well, hopefully we'll get Wayne, and we can all meet you when you're down this way.
Yeah, and maybe hook up and do a little bit of riding with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be great. Yeah.
I know we're going to be the last week of. We're back home on the 29th of August. My son's. I talked to him. I asked him if he could put off the wedding so that I could meet you the time period that you were here. But his wife,
they'll be here later in the fall, so you just got to do your iron butt out here.
That's
right. What?
There you go.
That's a good idea too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I heard Kevin talking about that last year.
Well, you know what? The iron butt, if we time this right, we might be able to meet you down there. Which would
Yeah.
Yeah, then we could do a destination out there in the Atlantic provinces somewhere.
Yeah. I like this one. Pete and Bonnie are gonna invite us. Kev, you and I are invited to a barbecue at Pete's place.
I like that idea.
I don't think that's what they had in mind, but we'll go.
We'll go. If they have ice cream for dessert, it's even better.
It's all good.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'd like to do that too.
We'll bring the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Like not from BC, from the grocery store.
If that was Kevin, it would only last one day on the road and it'd be gone.
He'd be gone on the first ferry.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. It sounds like it will be so epic. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the videos that come out of this. And I hope that it doesn't end up being a burden to make some, but I think you'll have your content is so good generally. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when you've got
Comic relief.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what?
Well, that's what his videos are missing.
Well, we've been on a bit of a social media break because I was getting overloaded with all these preparations and getting everything ready. So I kind of took a break from it from the last little while because it's so much work to get ready, more than I thought.
Mhm.
But next week we're back on it. Next week,
Good stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. So in this, right, I think we've covered a lot here, but is there anything else or shout outs we want to do here? Let's start with Craig and Lucinda. Any shout outs or anything come to mind?
Well, shout outs for other motovloggers.
Sure.
or whatever.
This is the time.
We had the pleasure of meeting Eddie in Kelowna, and he's got his channel Windy Therapy. And he is such a great guy to meet. We sat there over dinner that night. We spent hours there. And he was a great guy to meet on the road. I really enjoyed that meeting that we had. And like the other shout out I had was I talked about before for Critter Moto. I'm really looking forward to hopefully we can meet. And hopefully the timing works out when we get through that Nanaimo area. But I've been watching his channel quite a bit. And there's some amazing scenery where he gets to. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Takabaka or Wakabaka Falls or whatever up at in
What did you say?
Thunder Bay, Wakabaka Falls or Takabaka,
Okay.
Wakabaka. There, it's kind of cool. It's a
Yeah.
short stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
North Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be going to those lava fields in northern BC also.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And a ghost town up there. We've discovered a ghost town that still has power.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
And everything is, they even got books in the library and nobody lives there.
Yeah.
So we're going to go, that's one place we're going to try and hit also.
Yeah. And
There's quite a story behind it, but that'll be another video.
Can't give away all your secrets.
Give it
I
all
know.
away.
You're bound to go through a couple of ghost towns.
How many cards are you taking with you?
How many what?
SD cards.
Oh, yeah, we got quite a few. But I'm also taking 2 different laptops and an external hard drive, and we'll be loading up an awful lot of that. We'll probably download most every night.
Like probably the best way for you to do a lot of this is making, little short blurbs as you go through, and then do your real videos once you're done.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next winter's content, yeah. Like next winter, putting out some epic documentaries.
Oh
like,
yeah, you'll
The
get
deeper story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but
You'll
like
get
put out
so
an
many
hour-long
views.
video that like covers the first 2 weeks or something. Like just
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And I actually have 2 external hard drives, one that we use quite a bit and one for backup. So we got an awful lot of terabytes of storage with us.
you'll need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
It'll
project
always be a
manager in me.
long
My
road.
old history is coming out.
yeah.
Yeah. Save everything.
Yeah. Rob, any shout outs for you?
I'm good until we hit the end where we talk about what's happening next week.
Okay, well, I'll loop back around for you. Kev?
I did post a video this week about how to change the oil on a 103.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's going to be a part 2 because there was more to that story that we didn't get told. The video got pretty long, and so the next part, if I can get my computer working, I have the video ready to go and I can't upload it. So I had other issues, and it'll add some levity to to my video. But I have it coming. I just have to get the computer working.
Yeah.
Those are my two shout outs, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what's coming up. So
Yeah.
that's great.
And there's Angel Face is doing a quick shout out to a meetup they're doing in Calgary. Right. So
Oh, cool. I don't think I'm going to make it.
no, I don't think I wouldn't mind it, but yeah.
I wouldn't mind. It's just a little far.
Yeah.
You had to leave yesterday.
I don't.
And I guess for me, hoping Wayne, our buddy Wayne or Jarvis Biker is doing well. I'm curious to see if he's lurking in the side chat there, right? But haven't seen him post anything. But Wayne, we miss you and looking forward to your next guest appearance on the Canadian guys.
The one shout out I did want to make is that this Friday is Friday the 13th, and I will be at Port Dover with for sure with Wayne. I told him I would meet him there. Hopefully, if Dave can make it, we'll meet up with Dave there too. I don't know if you're going to make it or not. Are you?
I don't know yet. So for the viewers in the side chat there, I've been sequestered for a jury panel.
Oh, that's right, you were.
On Thursday, May the 12th. I did pose the question, does riding your motorcycle to a bike rally, is it a good enough excuse not to be on a jury? And so far the answer has come back, no.
You got to walk in there saying, "Who are we going to hang today?"
Yeah, just slow down.
You know what? There's so many people have given me such great advice on how to not be on a jury, but some of it I don't think I
kicked out of all the
face
fun
when I say it, right? So anyway, I won't know until Thursday night whether or not I am going to Port Dover, right?
So if
it's a criminal offense to skip. Right?
If anybody does,
New motorcycle might be in Port Dover as well.
Is that the Friday the 13th run?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it'd be 100,000 bikes anyway. And if anybody, if anybody comes if anybody's in the side chat and they see me walking around with a GoPro, please come and say hello. And that would be great.
Yeah. And Adrian from U Motorcycle is also going to be down there, right? There you go. So
that would be good. I could run into him.
All right. So now then, and Paul M just joined us. Let's see what he's up to.
Oh,
just in time for us to say
I don't know whatever gave him the idea that he was late. He's always welcome. What there is, right?
100-mile ride.
Right, and so this is the only Friday the 13th in 2022, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta make an effort to go if you can.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of does it around the tree. What do we got going next week there, Rob?
Well, I've got one of the directors and leaders of the Rolling Barrage coming to talk to us about the Cross Canada PTSD ride that happens for 20 days in August.
Wow.
Paul Harmon's going to come join us and talk about all that stuff.
Cool.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's great. That'll be
and
awesome.
Give a shout out to your channel again for people.
My channel, Dead Knot, available on most YouTube platforms, just Dead Knot. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. It'll be posted on there as well. I think I'm on Twitter too.
For anyone who doesn't know, that means he's not dead.
In case you're not sure.
Okay, so listen. And what does Peter say? Paramedic will be in Florida for this year's Friday the 13th. But Peter, you can still come with us, right?
Absolutely.
Very good. Okay, guys. Well, listen. Let's go back and say to Craig and Lucinda, thank you very much for coming on to tonight's live stream. As always, been a real pleasure talking with both of you, right? And we wish you all the best. Ride safe, be safe, right? And we look forward to following you across Canada, this great country, and it's going to be great because we're going to see things through your eyes that we probably will never see through our own eyes, right?
Yeah.
So, what's Kev got?
Nothing.
Yeah, you
Well,
do.
oh, yeah.
Shameless, shameless,
Shameless. Shameless. It's the only way you move. You
shameless, just shameless,
right.
Oh,
It's the only way you grow and you
shameless.
I tell you, you know what?
I'm not going to say anything about this at all. Superman Kev.
Well, Dave, maybe we'll jump on live for a little quick 5 minutes from the Arctic Ocean one day.
That
Yeah,
would be
there
awesome.
we
While
go.
someone takes a flying leap into the ocean.
Yes, yeah, film that.
You never know. You just never
Never know.
know.
Right.
That's
Okay,
the
everybody.
motto of this trip. You just never know.
And what a great motto. Okay, with that, we're going to sign off. I'd like to thank our guests again, Craig and Lucinda from SHHH Moto Travels. Oh, SHHH
Moto Travels.
Right. I got to get that straight. All right.
Yes.
You guys take care, and we look forward to following you. And let's chat some more in the green room, and we'll say goodnight to our side chat. Again, a great side chat going along. Sorry we haven't been able to keep up with all of you, but you know, it's been a great live stream and side chat, and we'll see everybody again next week at Dead Knot, Rob's channel, for another great live stream. All right, so take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night.